All right, we might be making a series out of this thing. Where's my milk? We might be making a series out of this thing where we go to Crumbl until I actually find some that I like. You guys had a lot of responses for Crumbl. A lot of you don't like it, but a lot of you do. And the people who liked it kept saying the same thing. You have to go on X week. You have to go on this week. The cakes are really what's good. Okay, I can admit, over the last 3 years, I've ordered Crumbl. I have an order history on here. I have my cheat sheet over here. I've ordered Crumbl a grand total of 4 times, one of which was they sent it to me in the mail because they didn't have any in New Jersey yet. The other 3 were ones in person. One was last week and one was last year. That's it. So I don't have a crazy verse on Crumbl. So for the sake of the content, I'm going to go in and say, let's do this until I find some that I actually like. Can I be converted? I highly doubt it. I have a lot of issues with their cookies, namely because I feel personally like they're underbaked. But one of the things that people said, and this is why I changed some things today, you got to get the minis. So I got the minis today. And in the minis, they're rolling around a little bit, which is okay. There's 6 different cookies, but there's also 2 different cakes this week. So we have 1 chocolate chunk. We have 2 peanut butter Reese's, which are over here. We have 1 of their vanilla crumb cake, which is on the left. Then we have a confetti cookie and then a cookies and cream cake. So we got a bunch of those, but we also have 2 of their cakes. So I have their raspberry cheesecake. Everybody raves about their cheesecake, so I got a cheesecake this time. And then finally, we have their carrot cake. I am a carrot cake aholic. I love carrot cake, so hopefully some of this is good. I will say from even the Kardashian one I had, that was the first cake that I had, that the cake was good. So hopefully that is, but that's what's on the agenda today. Just another disclaimer beforehand. I'm going to try to edit out the constant chewing because I just want this to be about the cookies. This is not a mukbang or ASMR videos. So don't think I'm over here spitting cookies out. Y'all know my big ass ain't finna do that, but I wanted to say it beforehand. I'm going to try to keep the video as short as possible. But let's try these damn cookies out, man. Let's start with one of my favorite things to have in the world, which is the Reese's. So we have the peanut butter cup cookie in the mini version. Hopefully this is better. Easily one of the better Crumbl cookies that I've had. It at least tastes like a cookie. And I know that sounds insane. It's baked better. I can get a little bit of a crunch on the cookie on the outside. Again, not crunchy, but there should be some sort of chew to a cookie where it doesn't just fall apart. But I'm going to be honest with you again. That tastes like an Entenmann's cookie that they put some Reese's stuff on the top. There's definitely Reese's on here. It doesn't taste bad. I think in this case, this is just going to come down to, I don't necessarily think it's worth the money, but I don't dislike the cookie. I'd be lying if I said I did. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. $17.49 for 6 mini cookies to me is still an incredible ripoff for what the quality of the cookie is, though. That's my honest assessment. Next up, we have their semi-sweet chocolate chunk cookie. It's a chocolate chip cookie. I got some crumbs on here. I don't want to get the vanilla, but I remember having this the first time and I thought it was decent. But you see what I'm saying? Where there's something to that cookie, so that's already a plus. I said this last video, my favorite cookie I've ever had from Crumbl in the large version was their chocolate chip cookie. That's even better. That's a pretty damn good cookie. It's got a nice bake on it. It's got a good crust on the outside. It's still soft on the inside. There's a good amount of chocolate chips on it. And the biggest thing that I noticed on this was that hint of sea salt on the top. To me, that makes a really good cookie. Just that little bit of salt that you put on the top. I even do that with my oatmeal. I just think it's an understated thing to do that really brings out a lot of that chocolate flavor. It's a very good cookie. If I was ever getting Crumbl again, I think I would just get 6 of those cookies so far. It's the only cookie that I think is good enough that say, okay, well, I would go to Crumbl for that. That's better than an Entenmann's. I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10. I told y'all, I'm gonna be real about this. That's a 9 and an 8 so far. You're doing good. Next up, we have this vanilla crumb cake cookie featuring golden Oreos. So these little crumblies on the top of Crumbl are golden Oreos. No, that's too much for me. It's the icing, same thing. This is where at least I can see where people are going with it. I do agree so far. The mini versions of these cookies are a lot better. The bake on that is fine. I just personally don't like a ton of cupcake frosting, which is what that top part, that vanilla cream, tastes like. There's really not that much golden Oreo going on there. It just tastes like a regular cookie with a ton of cupcake frosting on it. And for me personally, this is a taste bud thing. It's just way too sweet. I don't really like those cookie ice cream sandwiches. Not ice cream, but the ones that the cookie sandwiches, I should say. for the same reason, just a bit too much on the sweeter side for what I want in a cookie. So that is not one that I necessarily like. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but for my taste buds, I would give it a 4 out of 10. It's just not for me. Next up, we have the confetti cookie. This looks like a sugar cookie, man. This is crazy. Last time I said that, people said I was saying like I was British. Y'all might not be old enough. That's from the Chappelle Show. It's a whole thing. It just, you know, old enough, old heads, y'all know what I'm talking about. So that's me aging myself out, but let's try the confetti. Again, similar to the Reese's cookie. There is nothing wrong with the cookie. It's buttery. It's a sugar cookie. It's got a little bit of those confetti sprinkle kind of things in there, and you can taste it all throughout it. This is where it comes down to the same thing. It's more of a price thing with me. When I pay $18 for cookies, I don't want a cookie that I say it's good, but when I get those Pillsbury ones in the tube or in that little package, it tastes very similar to that. This is just, it's not worth what you're paying for it, but it doesn't taste bad. So if I'm rating this on taste alone, not a big sugar cookie guy, but I'd give it a 7 out of 10. But when I start factoring in the fact that one of these cookies is like, you know, almost $3 for one of them, like there's a Subway cookie is comparable to that. It's $1. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're paying more for the labels and the showing for it, and this isn't hype enough for me to say, oh, you got to wait in line for a crazy behind cookie. Not those. Chocolate chip is worth the price of the admission, though. And finally, we have the cookies and cream, chocolate cookies and cream, chocolate cookies and cream cookie. That name is weird. This was the Khloe Kardashian, I believe, but it had something else, like a brownie similar to it, so let's try it. White chocolate chips in here. This is the second best one I've had. This isn't bad. This isn't bad. I like the interior. I like the chew on this. I like this cookie. And I'm really usually not like a chocolate cookie kind of person because they can't pull these off. But again, they bake these so much better than the bigger ones. I think they should spend more time in the oven on the bigger ones. But this is good. Still the cookie, the chocolate chip cookie one is my favorite. But I like this cookie. I don't really have anything else to say. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's a good cookie. I would never say these are the best cookies I've ever had, but the minis, admittedly, are much, much better. It just, I still think they should be like, you know, maybe $15, $14, $13 for the minis, because even though they're mini cookies, they're just like regular cookies. They're just good regular cookies to me. But let's try these cakes, because that's what everybody says is the draw. So almost every person that I talk to, it's always, you got to try the cheesecakes. That's the best, the cakes. Okay, so we got this raspberry cheesecake. This is chilled. I had it in the fridge. Let's see what we got. This is, what do you think? Yep. If I'm going for a damn cheesecake and a cakes. But this is good. So this costs $6.48. I don't have a problem with this. It's got a nice graham cracker booty. The cheesecake is not an overly sweet cheesecake, but it's got a nice thick graham cracker crust that contrasts well with it. I wish I had a little bit more of that raspberry on the top because that tartness goes really well with this. And this costs $6. Most restaurants would charge you about $7 or $8 for something this size. You start getting into 12, 13 range for something a little bit bigger. So I don't really even think that's priced badly. And it's good. It's a good cheesecake. If I was going there, this is probably the first thing. And that chocolate chip cookie, we've almost got a 6-pack here. I got one of the yellow cake from Kris Jenner. We have this, and we have that chocolate chip cookie. I would also give this a 9 out of 10. This is the first thing that I've had from them. Like, okay, I can definitely see people eating this because I like this one. And then finally, can I even get this out? Yeah, we should be able to get this out. It's very delicate. So finally, we have this carrot cake. This one costs $5.98, so it costs $6. I love carrot cake, so I hope this is good. They put raisins in this. I don't like when people put raisins in a carrot cake. But, again, non-biased, bro. This is decent. I need another bite. This is good. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I need to wipe my hands off. They also have an icing that they seem to have drizzled onto the cake itself before they ice the cake. There's something drizzled on there as well. There's little strips of shredded carrot. It's fresh. It's also not an overly dense cake. It's kind of light and airy. They didn't go too crazy with the cream cheese frosting. They let the carrot cake speak for itself. I thought I bit into something that was a raisin, but I don't think there's raisins in here, so that's my bad. I think what I'm getting is just like shredded carrot pieces. There was one specifically that felt like that, so I take that back. I'm not getting any in there. There's also some chopped walnuts on the top. Their cream cheese frosting is not too sweet either. This is probably the best thing I've had from Crumbl. Is it worth me going out of my way to get it? No, but if I was in the area of a Crumbl and somebody said, hey, I'm getting it, I think this is worth $6. I don't have a problem with it. I think that really their cakes are for what it's at. So far. I would give this a 9.2 out of 10. The cake, the cheesecake, and that chocolate chip cookie are very good. I think the cookies are really still below average for me, but I can definitely see why people would like the baked goods. They're good. You can get stuff better from a mom and pop bakery, but their target demographic is more of like the younger kids, and it's kind of like a cool thing. I get it. I do. I get it when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's not the best I've ever had, but I'm comparing this to chains. Yeah, I would rock with this. Not gonna lie. Does that mean that I am a Crumbl fan? Not 100%, but already after 2 episodes of this, I can see where people are coming from. Again, I'm not one of those people that's going to hold this crazy bias towards stuff where I'm going to be blindly like, oh, everything trash is there. I like to talk with nuance. Even restaurants I don't like, Subway, there are still things there that are decent. And they have things here that are good. Do I think it's worth going there every week like a zombie set yet? No. Do I think those cookies are good for what you pay for them? Absolutely not. But the cakes I can rock with. I'm not going away for a chocolate chip cookie. I can get a good chocolate chip cookie at I almost cursed, I'm angry. I can get it at ShopRite. That's just real. But I rock with the cake. So we'll do this again next week. If you are a Crumbl person, please drop your favorite Crumbl kind of stuff in there and we'll talk about it. I say this every time. We're going to make an episode on this where I just yap about it, but nuance matters. I don't like when people are all or nothing. I don't. So even with a place that I don't necessarily feel strongly about, we're going to do this because I'm proving and putting my money where my mouth is in a literal sense. But that's it, man. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next week with another Crumbl, but other stuff on the second channel and no outro.